Hello everyone, welcome to my channel Science Here. Friends, in this video I am going to explain you about inductive effect. It is one of the most important topic if you are a chemistry student, and especially if you are studying organic chemistry, then you must know what is inductive effect. And as you can see, I have made a list here. So first I will tell you that in this video what all topics or what all subtopics I am going to cover. Okay, so first of all, you can see here I will give you a brief background about this topic, that is why we study this topic. Okay, so it is very important for you to know why we study inductive effect. Okay, what is its need. Okay, and I suggest that before starting any topic you must know why you are going to study that topic. Okay, so please go through that, then only you will understand the applications of that topic. Okay, and next I will give you the introduction, that means what is inductive effect. I will introduce it, and next it will be about the details, that is what all factors we include in inductive effect and what it can cause, how it causes, how it acts, how it affects. Okay, so these all things we will see in details. Next I will give you description about the types. Okay, inductive effect is having some types. Okay, it is divided into types, so that things I will explain you in the subtopic types. Okay, and at last I will give you a brief conclusion that will be including all the important features. Okay, that will be inclusion of all these subtopics. Okay, and I will conclude, and it will be having important features. Okay, I have written here. So the important features describing the inductive effect. Okay, so let's start the topic, that is background. So in background subtopic, let us discuss why we study inductive effect. Okay, so you must be knowing that all the organic compounds show reactions that essentially involve changes in the existing covalent bonds, okay, present in the organic compounds. Okay, that means suppose a organic compound present is HA. Okay, or something like this. If there is a compound, if this compound has to give a product, okay, suppose BC. Okay, suppose this compound has to give a product BC, then the compound involve many changes. Okay, and that changes might be electronic displacements, or cleavage, that is breaking or fission. Okay, that means breaking of the bond between HA or fission of the bond between HA. Okay, or it may involve attacking reagents. Okay, if a reagent attack, then also this compound may undergo change and it can form product. Okay, so it can have these three type of changes, and including these changes it can form product. Okay, so the reactions of organic compound essentially involve these changes and form products, or we can say they form new bonds. Okay, and that means after these there is formation of new bonds. Okay, so to understand clearly the mechanism of various organic reactions, it is thus essential to have knowledge about the following concepts. Okay, that means electronic displacement, you must know what are electronic displacements, or cleavage, that is fission or breaking of covalent bonds, or nature of attacking reagents. Okay, if you know these three concepts, then only you can draw the mechanism for the organic reactions. Okay, So electronic displacement, if we talk about electronic displacement, that is simply the displacement of electrons. That means how electrons move from one bond or from one atom to other. Okay, how the electrons displace. Okay, so electronic displacement of covalent bonds may occur either due to presence of some atom or group in the molecule or under the influence of attacking reagents. Okay, if we talk about this, then it occurs either due to atoms or group in the molecule, okay, that is organic molecule, or under the influence of attacking reagent. Okay, in these two conditions the electronic displacement takes place in covalent bond. Okay, so as a result of these electronic displacements, centers of different electron densities are created. Okay, due to these electronic displacement, different centers are created, different centers of electron densities are created. Okay, and these centers are susceptible to attack by the reagents. Okay, and thus the factors which create the centers of different electron densities in the substrates are mainly, the first one is inductive effect. Okay, so in this way we came to know that how inductive effect came into field and what is its need. Okay, that means if you have to know about the factor which create the centers of different electron densities. Okay, what we have said, electron densities. Okay, so the factors which create centers of different electron densities. Okay, those factors are having, first one is inductive effect. There are other factors also, you must have read, but here we are discussing inductive effect. Okay, so in this way you can see what is its background, how the inductive effect came into field, and what is its need to study. Okay, so you must have understood inductive effect is a factor which create the center of different electron density in the substrate. Okay, and through these electron densities which are created, they may be either due to some atom or group in the molecule or under the influence of attacking reagent. Okay, and these cause electronic displacement. Okay, and the electronic displacements give us a mechanism to understand how the bond breaking takes place or electron displacement take place in a reaction of organic compound which involve changes in the covalent bond. Okay, in order to give a product. Okay, so now let's understand what is inductive effect. Okay, that means the introduction part. So in introduction, you know that a covalent bond is formed on account of equal distribution of or equal contribution of electrons by two atoms. Okay, covalent bond, it is formed by equal contribution. Okay, as you know, in case of, if we take a carbon-carbon bond, okay, so you know both the carbon bonds are formed by equal contribution. That means here one electron of this carbon and one electron of this carbon. Okay, since the carbon atom is having 4 electrons in its outermost or valence shell orbital. That means 1 electron. Here another atom, suppose ABC. So it is having 4 electrons in its outermost orbital. That's why it forms 4 bonds. Okay. So here you can see that this carbon and carbon having covalent bond is having 2 electrons. Okay, that means equal contribution of electrons by the 2 atoms. Similar is the case of if you take Cl2 molecule. Okay, so Cl2 molecule is having one Cl atom is having 7 electrons in its outermost shell. Okay, 5, 6 here and 1 this one 7. For this chlorine atom 6 electrons and 1 here. Okay, so these two they both share electrons and form a bond together. Okay, Cl bond. Okay, this way Cl2 exists. Okay, so here also you see that the electron pair is shown by equal contribution. Okay, so in this way, in case if the 2 atoms are similar, in both the cases you see both the atoms having covalent bond are similar. Okay, so if both the atoms having covalent bond are similar, the electron pair occupies a central position between the 2 nuclei of the atoms. Okay, and such a bond is called non-polar covalent bond. Here the electron pair will have central position, neither towards this chlorine atom, neither towards this chlorine atom. That means both the electrons will be in center. Okay, so in this way it is called as non-polar covalent bond. Okay, it is not polar because it is in the center. Okay, so the examples are this: Cl2 molecule, H2 molecule, and like this carbon-carbon bond. Okay, these all are non-polar covalent bonds. Next, but as here both the carbon atoms are similar, so there may be a case if both the atoms having the electron pair or forming a covalent bond, they are not similar. Okay, so before that you see here that if there is a non-polar covalent bond, in this case influence of electron pair is same on both the atoms. Okay, this electron pair will have same influence on this chlorine atom and also on this chlorine atom. Okay, but in a covalent bond between two dissimilar atoms, suppose A, B, these are having a covalent bond. Okay, in such cases how they are dissimilar, that means A is having different electronegativity and B is having different electronegativity. Okay, that means electronegativities are different. So the electron pair does not remain in the center. Okay, if both are having different electronegativities, in this case the electron pair that forms the covalent bond between them, it will be not in the center. Okay, but is attracted towards the more electronegative atom. Okay, so in such cases the electron pair is attracted towards the more electronegative atom. Okay, and thus the bond becomes somewhat polar. Okay, due to unequal sharing of electron pair. Okay, so here you can see unequal sharing of electron pair making the bond polar. Okay, for example, suppose a compound CX. Okay, that means carbon is bonded to halogen atom. Okay, so X, that is halogens are more electronegative. Electrons X or halogens are more electronegative than carbon. Okay, so in such cases the electrons shift towards halogen. Okay, that means X. Okay, or we can say the electron pair forming the covalent bond between these two is attracted towards X. Okay, or the halogen atom. Okay, so with the result of this shifting, X acquires a partial negative charge. So that's why it acquires partial negative charge. Why partial negative charge? Because it attracts not only its X electrons but also this carbon's electron is attracted towards X. Okay, that means extra electron is attracted towards or influenced towards X. Okay, but this extra electron is not completely towards it, so it is partially towards it, and since an extra electron is attracted towards it, so negative charge. Okay, and partial because it is not completely towards the X atom, but it is somewhat attracted towards the X atom. Okay, so partial negative charge, and the carbon atom will be having partial positive charge. Okay, let me write it clearly. Here partial negative, here partial positive. Partial positive because it has lost the electron. That means the electron of carbon here present in this bond is attracted towards the halogen. So it has lost the electron in a way, we can say, and it is not lost completely, so it is partial, and since it has lost, so there will be positive charge. Okay, that means one electron is less here. Okay, so in this way the bond will be like this. Okay, that means more towards the halogen atom. Okay, the polarity thus produced, this way a polarity is produced in the covalent bond of CX. So this polarity thus produced in the molecule as a result of high electronegativity of one atom compared to another atom is termed as inductive effect. Okay, this polarity which is produced is thus known as inductive effect. Okay, it's a kind of effect which is caused on a molecule having one higher electronegative atom and one lesser electronegative atom where a polarity is produced. Okay, so this is the introduction of inductive effect. That means what is inductive effect. Okay, so now let's discuss about what are the details of inductive effect. Before this, I have told you what is inductive effect in the introduction. So it is important to note that the electron pair, although permanently displaced or simply shifted, as I have told you, this is as the case of inductive effect. Okay, so as the electron pair is permanently displaced or simply shifted, but it remains in the same valency shell. Okay, the inductive effect is always transmitted along a chain of carbon atoms. Okay, that means if more than one carbon atom are attached, okay, in this way, so when an electron withdrawing atom such as halogen or a group such as NO2, CN, etc. attached to an end of carbon chain, this is a carbon chain suppose, okay, and an electron withdrawing group is attached to carbon at one end, the sigma electrons of the bond, okay, this bond is sigma bond, and the sigma electrons of the bond are slightly displaced towards the more electronegative atom or group. Okay, what I am telling is that if a carbon chain is attached to a halogen or NO2 or CN, or we can say that groups which can withdraw the electron from carbon and that group, okay, sigma bond. Okay, so such groups if they are attached to a carbon chain, then the sigma electrons of the bond are slightly displaced towards the more electronegative atom or electron withdrawing group. Okay, so here see, either it is halogen or NO2 or CN, these all are more electronegative than simple carbon. Okay, and they are called electron withdrawing groups. If such groups or atoms are attached to carbon chain, then the sigma electrons of this bond are slightly displaced towards that atom or group. Okay, that is more electronegative atom or group. Okay, however its intensity, okay, that means the displacement of this sigma bond electron, the intensity of this displacement, it decreases as this distance from the source atom increases. Okay, what I am telling you, that the intensity of the displacement decreases. Okay, that means you have seen that I've told you that if like this atom are attached, so it is more electronegative, that means having partial negative, and it is partial positive. Okay, so if here is partial negative and this carbon is having partial positive, so the next carbon will be having two partial positives. Okay, and another next carbon three partial positive, that means less much electrons. Okay, so in this way we can see the suppose this is carbon 1, this is carbon 2, this is carbon 3. Okay, and so on. Okay, so the positive charge on carbon 1 attract the electron pair shared between carbon 1 and carbon 2 towards itself. Okay, because it is delta, you can see delta positive, so and here 2 delta positive, that means this carbon 1 is more electronegative, so this sigma bond electron will be shifted towards carbon 1. Okay, this will cause carbon 2 to acquire a small positive charge, but this charge on carbon 2 will be smaller than on carbon 1. Okay, similarly carbon 3 will acquire positive charge that will be still smaller than carbon 2. Okay, so this effect is still relayed further. In fact, inductive effect tends to be insignificant beyond the second carbon atom. Okay, so as the distance decreases, it becomes insignificant. Okay, so in this way it is a permanent effect in the molecule and can be observed practically in the form of dipole moment. Okay, so it is a important point here that inductive effect is a permanent effect. Okay, this type of electron displacement along carbon chains due to presence of a source. Okay, what is the source here? The more electronegative atom or group attached to carbon atom or chain. Okay, so this type of electron displacement along a carbon chain due to presence of a source is called inductive effect, or we also call it as transmission effect. Okay, it is also called transmission effect. Okay, this effect is represented by an arrow, as you can see here. This shows inductive effect. Okay, this is the way to represent inductive effect. The carbon hydrogen bond is used as a standard for comparing the tendency of electron attraction and repulsion. Okay, so how we say that electrons are attracted or repelled? So for that we take carbon hydrogen bond as standard. Okay, we compare all the atoms or all the bonds in the molecule with respect to this carbon hydrogen bond. Okay, so thus giving to types of inductive effect. Okay, that means either the molecule will be having carbon hydrogen strength more than carbon hydrogen bond or strength less than carbon hydrogen bond. That means two types generate here. That is, so now comes types of inductive effect. So it is of two types. First one is plus I effect and second one is minus I effect. Okay, so as I have told you that we have taken a standard carbon hydrogen bond for comparing the tendency of electron attraction and repulsion. Okay, so in this way, if the atom or group which has more power to attract electron in comparison to hydrogen is said to have minus I effect. Okay, so you see, in suppose we are taking the first one, let's talk about first plus I effect. Okay, when it comes to act. So what is plus I effect? If the atom or group which has less power to attract the electrons than hydrogen. Okay, suppose an atom added A. Okay, if this atom, or suppose it is a group, if this atom or group attached to carbon, it has less power, A is having less power than hydrogen to attract the electron. Okay, to attract the electron towards itself, it is having less power. That means here the carbon will attract the electron. Okay, so in such cases, this type of effect will be called plus I effect. Okay, so here you are seeing electron will be attracted towards carbon. That means carbon will be having delta negative and that atom or group will be having delta positive. Okay, so such type of effect, okay, having this case is known as plus I effect. Okay, and here the sigma electrons are displaced away from the substituents. Okay, as you have seen, suppose a carbon chain we have taken and A is attached. Okay, and A is having less attracting power than hydrogen, so the electron displacement will take in this way. Okay, and here delta negative, delta positive. Okay, and thus delta 2 delta negative, 3 delta negative. Okay, so in this type of effect is shown by electron releasing or repelling groups, that is CH3 whole thrice. Okay, all the groups which release electron show plus I effect. Okay, next CH3 whole twice CH, then CH3 CH2, then CH3, then hydrogen. Okay, and what is their order? So this will be having most plus I effect, then this. So this is the decreasing order of showing plus I effect. Okay, so now let's come to minus I effect. And also remember that all these groups are electron releasing group, or we call it as electron donating group. Okay, so next is minus I effect. Okay, so what is minus I effect? You may have understood that if the atom attached to carbon is having more attracting power than hydrogen. Okay, so such type of effect. So what kind of effect happen here, which I have explained you in case of halogen. Okay, so here X is having more attracting power than hydrogen. Okay, so such cases show a minus I effect, where the electrons are shifted towards the more electronegative, that is the substituent atom or group, and it is having partial positive, it is partial negative. Okay, so such type of effect is known as minus I effect. Okay, and minus I effect is shown by electron attracting or electron attracting group or electron withdrawing groups, which are, I have told you, NO2, Cn, COOH, then fluorine, chlorine, bromine. All the halogens are electron withdrawing group. Iodine, then OR, OH, C6H5, then CH, CH2, then hydrogen. Okay, so in the last, here also hydrogen comes, So this is the electron withdrawing order. Okay, decreasing order. The most electron withdrawing atom is NO2. Okay, so this order is very important for you, because if you are giving any exam science related where chemistry is asked, okay, so there one question definitely asked about this inductive effect, and that will be dependent on this part. Okay, plus I effect or minus I effect. Okay, and majorly this effect you must know to answer the reactions. Okay, because in reactions you must know where plus I effect or where minus I effect is involved. It is very important for you to study the mechanism of the reaction. Okay, or to understand the reason behind the mechanism. Okay, so this you must know what are the plus I effect groups and what are minus I effect groups. Okay, so I've told you the first type is effect, that is plus I effect is have shown by electron releasing or donating groups, and minus I effect is shown by electron withdrawing or electron attracting groups. Okay, so the minus I effect is referred to as electron attracting or electron withdrawing group. Okay, and this convention, that is, it is electron withdrawing and it is electron donating, this convention is shown by Ingold. Okay, there was a scientist Ingold. Okay, so this convention is known as Ingold convention. Okay, that which is electron releasing or which is electron withdrawing, this convention is known as Ingold in convention. Ingold is the name of a scientist. Okay, so now we will discuss what are the important feature and we will come to the conclusion. So here we will discuss what is the conclusion, what are the conclusions, and here these conclusions include basically what are the important features we have discussed just now about inductive effect. Okay, so first of all, remember that it is a permanent effect. I've told you to note it down. Sometimes in some of the exams it is directly comes that choose which is a permanent effect or not, or say true or false whether inductive effect is permanent or not. Okay, so just remember it is a permanent effect. The next is the shared pair of electrons, although permanently shifted towards the more electronegative atom, yet remains in the same valency shell, or sorry, same valence shell. Okay, so the shared pair of electrons, though shifted, okay, towards more electronegative atom or group, sorry for the writing but hope so you understand, atom or group, yet remains in the same valence shell. Okay, so this also I have discussed. The next feature is, as a result of electron shifting, the more electronegative end acquires partial negative charge and the other acquires partial positive charge. Okay, that I have told you, that suppose it is X, so it will acquire partial negative and it will acquire partial positive. Next is, the inductive effect is not confined to the polarization of one bond. Okay, but it is transmitted along a chain of carbon atom through sigma bond. Okay, however the effect is insignificant beyond second carbon in the chain. Okay, so it is transmitted. As the name suggests, you know what is induction. In the physics you must have read what is induction. One substance induces a property in the other. Okay, so in the same way here, one carbon, it induces the polarity which is having the polarity it induces in the next attached carbon atom. Okay, so the inductive effect is not confined to polarization of one bond. Okay, and it is transmitted along a chain of carbon. Okay, that I've told. The next, the inductive effect brings changes in physical properties. Okay, such as changes in physical properties. And what are that properties? As dipole moment, solubility, etc. Okay, so due to this inductive effect, it changes these properties as dipole moment, solubility, and affect the rate of the reaction. Okay, it affect the rates of reaction. Okay, next property is carbon hydrogen bond is taken as standard. I've told you carbon hydrogen bond is taken as standard of inductive effect. Zero effect is assumed. It is having zero effect. Okay, atoms or groups which have greater electron withdrawing capacity than hydrogen are said to have minus I effect, whereas atoms or groups which have greater electron releasing power are said to have plus I effect. Okay, that also I have explained, minus I and plus I effect. Okay, this also discussed. So in this way, the phenomenon of inductive effect is very important in organic chemistry, and it is helpful in explaining a number of facts. Okay, that means it has very useful applications. So here in this video, I think this is much about this topic. What is inductive effect, what is its type, and what are the common features of inductive effect. And please comment if you want a video on the application of inductive effect, because that is also very important part of chemistry and a very important part regarding your exams, competitive exams, or your board exams or college exams. In all these exams, these topics come usually. Okay, so if you want a video on the application part of inductive effect, so I will give you a detailed description about that also. If you like the video, please like and share and subscribe my channel for such concepts. And please do suggest or advise any modification or the type of changes you want in my explanations. Thank you for watching my video.